I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to help you navigate and make your way through acceptance. Number 1, acceptance. So learning to accept things that you can do nothing about, things that just can't be changed. A death would be one of those. I just recently, 2 nights ago, lost a uncle. Very, very good man, very cool man, very wise. He was very smart about he always talked about the universe and just really deep conversations. Love that man. It's been a long time since I've seen him, so it's easier for me to accept, I guess, than it would be for, everybody that's been around him closer. I moved away from my entire family a long time ago, so I've been distant. But accepting things that you can't change, like death, for me, it makes it a lot easier to get through things and move on to the next step. So accepting the things that you can't fix, the things that you can't do anything about. If you can fix it, if there's a slightest chance that you can alter it through your hard work and your means, then do it. But if you've tried and there's just no getting around it, you either need to remove that thing that you can't accept from your life, move on past it, or accept that there's just certain stuff that you're going to have to, like it or not, you're going to have to deal with and move on and get through it. So learning to accept things for what they are, huge help. Understanding things. Dive into it. Figure out what causes it, the thing that you can't fix. Number 3, choose wisely. And when I say this, I mean it like with every ounce of my soul. When big decisions come your way, jobs, education, relationships, residence, when you come to those big decisions, don't make them in haste. Don't make them lightly. Think things through, like really think about everything that's going to affect. I'll give you a good example. My wife likes to watch those 90-day fiancés or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I'll watch them with her when she's watching them, just so we're hanging out together doing something. And some of these like the ones that go in different countries, I just don't understand it. Like, they have so much trouble. They have so much hardship relationship wise because of that barrier of going from like one country to another. One person coming from the United States and going to another country is going to leave behind everything that they know, everything that's close to them. And vice versa. If they're coming from that country, coming to our country, they're going to leave behind their family, their friends, their culture, the things that they know, the things that make them who they are. They're going to leave that behind. That's not easy. That's not, I mean, I live in a different part of the country than the rest of my family. The only people that are in my part of the, like where I'm at, are my youngest daughter and my older daughter. My 2 sons both live in different states. One lives in South Carolina, one lives in Florida. My granddaughter, his daughter, is there with him. My parents, everybody else pretty much that I have blood related is in Florida. And I've been up here for off and on for the better part of 30 years. And it's been really hard. It's been tough. In that 30 years, there's been a lot of my family members that have come and gone. There's been, everybody gets old. We all, but like I said, we don't last forever. Life's not like that. It's just not designed that way. We don't get to stick around forever. So you can imagine in that time, there's been a lot of family members that I've had that have passed away while I wasn't there. So those are big factors. Things like that. Things like, just the distance. Because when you put a lot of distance, especially if you can't afford to be going back and forth a lot, and you put a lot of distance in between you and what you knew, it creates not only a gap in miles, but it creates a gap emotionally. So you start to become disconnected emotionally from your family members or your friends, or whatever it is that you left that was dear to you. And it's not to say that you don't appreciate and value and love what you have. It's just those are things that you need to think about before you make those decisions. So that's why I say choose wisely. And number 4, reevaluate your life before it's too late. You don't want to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 years old. That's when like the ride's almost over at that point. As far as I'm concerned, we're not we don't get to live much longer than that. If we're lucky, we might see 80 to 100, but that's a rarity. So the fact is that it life is going to end for us a lot sooner than that. So reevaluate your choices before it's too late, before you don't have time to change them, and like kind of design things a little more towards the direction of what you want, what you're interested in. You want to make sure that's done before it's too late. And number 5 would be overcome your obstacles and become content with the choices that you've made. If you are not happy or content with the choices that you have made and where you're at in life, whether that's your career, your social life, or your place of residence, overcome the obstacles and find a way to bring yourself to that contentment and enjoy what's left. Enjoy the rest of your life that you have, because if you wait too long, this is the one thing that I fear, that I think about, that I'm worried about, is I don't want to be sitting, at the, not, how do I say this? Not about to fall into the grave, but I don't want to be thinking about the idea that it's not too far down the road and there's so many things that I didn't do, so many things that I wish I had done, or where I wish I had lived, or people I wish, I had stayed around or been around. Obviously these are thoughts that are going through my head. And I want to convey the message that don't let that happen to yourself as well. Like don't get to a point where you can't change things, or you can't make things go in the direction that you wanted to go to. Do something about it. If you're fine with the way things are, then leave it alone. Don't waste your efforts. If you're not, don't just sit by and let it happen. That's like being in school and getting picked on and just laying there on the ground while everybody's kicking you. I just couldn't do that. Whether I was going to win or not, I'm going to start swinging. And one way or another, I'm going to either fight until I don't make it, or I'm going to fight until I'm back to where I want to be. So those are basically the 5 tips that I have. And I'll go ahead and touch base back on, some of those, choose wisely. Me personally, I don't want to call it regrets, because like I said, I have a wife I love, and I've, got kids here near me, but I've also got this other part that's just not there yet. That's just not content. And I've acknowledged it, and I'm pursuing that, and in one way or another at some point. I don't want to spend the rest of the time that I have left not thinking about it and not doing something about it. So share this with your friends if it comes close to home for you, and maybe you can help them or help yourself learn to accept things and learn to think about the choices that you make. I appreciate you hitting play and coming and watching. If it's something that you enjoyed, please give me a thumbs up. I would also appreciate a subscribe if you're so inclined. And that's all I've got. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. I think I did pretty good. I think I chose wisely. In my choices for making the video, I talked about acceptance, understanding your choices, reevaluating, and overcoming. I think that's good. I'm pretty sure we've talked about this. What are you still doing here? It's time to go to bed. Good night.